Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
Medianoche. Medianoche.
Medianoche.
Medianoche.
Medianoche.
Medianoche.
Medianoche.
Medianoche.
Medianoche.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? We're back with another episode of the Medianoche podcast. I think it's episode 30, 29, 30, something like that. All right, man. So I was put on to the guest that we have today by my man Mowgli. I got Big G.
What they do, everybody. My name is Big G, a.k.a. GMP Arrow from Cutler Ridge. Thank you for the love, man, having me on here, bro.
Yeah, for sure, man. No, thanks for having me, man. We're at your spot right now in your backyard.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Vibes.
Yeah, before we started, man, you told me, before we really started, I was kicking it with Mowgli, right? And Mowgli gave me the backstory, right. That you hook him up with his shirts and his stickers. Obviously, there's a lot more to you than that, but that was the introductory point. And then I looked up your IG, it's GMP Arrow, for sure. Right? And then when I met you right now, you told me that you was in the military.
Yeah, veteran. I'm a Navy veteran. I was stationed at USS Ashland in Virginia. So big up to all the troops. All my brothers still serving.
Well, what did you do when you was there?
I was on the ship, but my job was dental technician. Like, I ain't know shit about teeth. And then I kind of got pushed into the military at 17 because I was fucking up here. And my OG's like, you got to do some shit. So my cousins had gone in. They already put the little bug in their ear, and then she signed me in at 17. At 17, they got to sign you in and shit. So signed me in, and I went in not wanting to go. I tried to fail the test, and I passed it enough, and I qualified for that job. So they give you jobs depending on what you score.
Yeah.
So I tried to fuck it up, and I did good on the science and shit. And then they're like, yo, you can do dental. I'm like, I don't know shit about teeth. I got mad cavities and shit. And I'm like, fuck it, I'll take dental. And I started doing that shit, but you still got to go to boot camp and all this shit. Then you get stationed, then you start learning your job, you feel me? So it's like a ghetto college. All the niggas that didn't make it to college, go to the military, they teach you education. But I was always schooled on don't do a job like repairing fucking tanks and shit like that. When you get out, what the fuck how many tanks you gonna repair out in Cutler Ridge and Miami and shit?
Yeah, it's not a practical profession.
Right. So I was always on the game, medical, IT, some shit I could get out and still use it. And I didn't want to be a gun expert, because what are you gonna do when you get out? Security guard and police officer? So I was like, fuck that.
So you was actually thinking long term.
Yeah, because that wasn't my
military.
goal. But then it changed me. That shit helped me out, and I traveled the world. I got to see Bahrain, Spain. I went to Operation Iraqi Freedom, and I lived around the globe, and that shit gives you perspective and different looks at life and how to appreciate shit. When you get stripped away from that shit, you learn what's important, and not the big shit, but the little shit.
But what's up, a couple things, right? When you first went in, you wasn't spooked out that you might have to get into some crazy army shit?
Hell yeah. And before even spooked about that shit, I was spooked about just boot camp, nigga. You get off the plane, they shave your head, they're screaming at you, you're like, what the fuck did I just do?
What's this movie, Full Metal Jacket?
Yep, same shit. It's a culture shock. They shave you up, they dress you all the same, they strip your clothes away, they give you these little shorts, little shirt, and they make everyone equal. And they tear away all your bad habits, and they just mold you to this new thing. And it's that's scary at first. And at first also I was rebellious. I got in trouble in boot camp first day. Didn't like getting instructed. I got into a little squabble and I got set back. So I was in that bitch a longer time. So that shit puts you in perspective, you feel me? And then when you get out, you start looking at shit different.
What are some bad habits that you realized you had?
Just authority. Come on, we all grew up from the same shit. We grew up with hip hop. We grew up out here in the streets of Miami, and I was
just talking about that with a friend of mine, man. How hip hop perpetuates rebellion. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. And it's to fuck with how you think too, in a bad way. In the good way, yes, it formed us to this generation we're in. But I always tell Mose, I'm like, I do GMP and I love comics my whole life. But growing up in the society we grew in with NWA, Wu-Tang, I couldn't tell my Wu-Tang NWA niggas that I had to love Star Wars and watch fucking comic books, because you keep those two niggas separated. Now that whole world meshed, and right now comics are just regular shit. Hip-hop is integrated. There's no more you have to be a gangster rapper. I love that aspect of the music that it opened up, because we were kind of forced into thinking G's up, hoes down, fuck, you gotta be hard. I love that it opened up, because it helped me get in touch with my real way, without fronting.
Yeah, I do appreciate that about hip hop now. Like hip hop is just much more accepting for you to just be who you are. You don't gotta be the tough guy all the time.
You can wear sandals, long hair, surfer, look at dude spit bars, and you don't have to wear big 4 chains and like grills.
Yeah, for sure. You can just kind of be you.
So in the same way when people say that the internet fucked up the game and all shit, but it kind of like, hey, it opened it up for like, cause when I first started doing hip hop, it was like R&B rap, and niggas like, what the fuck y'all doing? And now that shit's what it is. Everyone's singing on their shit. They rap and melodize harmonies, and that's how we only started doing that when I started with my clique TCP. And that's how I met Mowgli and everybody through the music shit. Cause I started doing music and I still love music, but right now my energy's on my business, on making this shit. But because I grew up in that industry, I needed shirts for doing shows. You want to promote, and you always had to pay a motherfucker and lose mad money. So I was like, yo, why not just make this shit? Yeah,
so you picked up on all the, I'm on the same tip, man. Like the less things that you know how to do or have access to, the more overhead you have, just to be able to exist.
Cut the middleman. Cut the middleman. If you find out that technique and that craft how to do it, well, why not?
And it really isn't even that hard. It's not rocket science, man, to learn how to do these things, man.
It takes a little just discipline and like a little finance, not too much. People think it's like unreachable. Like, yo, you just gotta stack a little bit. We hustle. Like back in the day, I was telling my cousin, like, yo, remember we had no money? Like you get $3, I get 2, we get a nickel bag, or somehow we get $2 more, and like we had no money, but we'll make so much effort and get the mission, and we smoke. I'm like, if we put that same energy we put to chasing pussy, like all that energy you put in to get that ass, if we just do that same technique on what you want.
It's funny, like you say that, man, I agree, because I have a couple homies of mine, especially after I got like wrapped up in the whole situation I was in, that's like, yo, all the energy that you invest in trying to move these packs, imagine like just filling out applications, bro. Like, or I mean, whatever. If you want to be an employee or an entrepreneur, like you could channel that same energy and just being self-sufficient legally.
A lot of times, a lot of us block ourselves. It's like we're the main roadblock, and we're in denial. You feel me? Like I'm starting to, like, in this state of mind I'm at now at this age, I'm more like optimistic and positive because I started looking at shit like that. Because I used to be like always like not with that shit, and that all shit's true. Like that whole peace, inner peace, and if you're in tune, like it's true. The more I've been doing as I get older, like shit's, don't let stress come in, man, and you live a calmer like life, even when the shit's falling apart. Like it's not fucking with you.
Yeah, no, all that drama shit is some young boy shit, man, for real. Because once you get it to a certain age where, those things it really puts into perspective, man. Like all that drama, bro. Like that shit is mad, just unnecessary, bro.
It's sad, man. It's sad, like shit like that Nipsey shit, RP Nip, like that shit's, it's sad to see that shit, but at the same time, like when Nori shot it out, like he's got a point too. I get the Nipsey shit, like staying there and being there to make the change, but at the same time, like Nori said, like, yo, you can't be there making all this money because there's always gonna be somebody who want to take you out. Like you can't be up there. You're not untouchable, dog. People are always gonna be. There's always a greed, envy, hate.
For sure. I mean, it really is. It's wherever you go, bro. Like, let's say you become super successful and you help out your community and all that, and you choose to move away. Like your status is up anyway. You could live in the middle of nowhere. Somebody finds out that that's you and you're there, and that's it. Now you're known to be there.
On that note, I got that. I learned that when I went to Vegas. I went to Vegas after the military, and I was doing shows out there rapping. And what helped me was I wasn't from there, so no one knew me. Like, oh, that's Gio from high school. Oh, I know him. Like, oh, he rapping now. Like, here they know me, so they already on that other tip. They don't even think I rap because I just came out to them as a rapper. But over there, I was like, yo, I'm Big G. This is Serenity, my manager. This shit, that's all they know. So like, you give them what you want, and that shit helped it's like the smoke and mirrors. I always say that shit. When I showed up to Vegas, my first local show, I show up, I got 10 bitches in the front row wearing my shirt, singing my songs. They don't know them bitches as my cousin, my cousin's wife, my other cousin, you know what I'm saying? But smoke and mirrors, man. They're like, who the fuck's this dude? Out of town, got 305. Niggas in Vegas saying 305, dirty shit, rapping. And my set was better than everybody. And they've been in the scene, and that's it. All the niggas started flocking.
Yeah, like if man, like staying in your hometown is definitely like a fishbowl, man. Like people, everyone knows that you're there.
Especially here.
There's nothing special about you except if you're from here, but you can truly pack out a big ass venue.
Yeah, man.
Then that's when they champion you from being here. But it's a lot easier to pull that off out of town because they don't know that you're just
correct.
Like
they just see the alter ego you've created with the media that you're performing, like you're putting it out in, but they don't know the background. That gives them the chance to like hate. Like if they know me here, like, oh, I knew him from middle school and shit. That nigga, like, he ain't rap back then. Like automatically, that's why USA is like that. If you go to other countries and shit, they're passing out feigning still for artists and like show love. Over here, it's like automatic, like, oh, my boy does that shit. Oh, that nigga's trying, like automatic hate. It sucks, and social media don't help.
So you lived in like L.A. Las Vegas, bro. Like, how was it out there?
Bro, it's crazy. Like me being a country boy, southern boy from down here. I mean, I was born in Cali, right? And my brother's from the Bronx, and then I was raised here. But I did like first through senior here, so I'm a Miami boy. You feel me? But when I went out there, that shit's fast, dog. And I wasn't ready. Like I thought it was, but you know, I have vices and shit. I couldn't handle them. I did really well the first few years. We had shows every day. I was doing events. I got so big and shit that I even was able to bring out Mowgli and Doug P and all them niggas. We flew them out to Vegas. We had a show out there. It was like crazy. It was like,
oh, that was you?
That was me who flew them out there.
Damn, that's wild. I've heard that story.
It was
man.
epic, and it was like we didn't even know what we was doing. I started just wanting to rap, and then everybody left. My boy Cam left to go on tour with Locos por Juana. So then I was stuck. I didn't know how to produce. I didn't know how to like make nothing. PSD graphics. I didn't know how to do shit. I would call this nigga and be like, yo, how do I make this shit get outlined? He would like IT me from across, and then that's how I started. That's why I got forced to learning how to make my own shit. I'm good with Photoshop and rap, but I don't know how to count bars. I don't know how to use Photoshop the real way. Like I learned it just like I grabbed it, kept pressing buttons till the shit works. So none of this shit, they'd be like, what BPI did you use for it? I'm like, I don't know, none of that shit means, bro. Like I have no clue. Like how many bars did you spell? Like I don't know. Tell me. Like I can't count bars. I just know when to stop when the beat
that's
clicks.
how that's Nori with the whoa. That's how he counted bars, yo, and that became the hook of that record. That's funny.
No shit. I didn't know that story.
Yeah, man. Like he was in the studio with Pharrell or whatever, and he was like, yo, count, whatever, count your bars. He's like, oh, I don't know how to count bars. I just go whoa,
That's fire.
and that's a bar to him.
Yeah, like and at first I used to be like I work with a lot of musicians, so I'll be like, yo, that's so dope that you could kill that shit, and they look at me like, yo, you're amazing. Like I don't know how you do it. Like how do you know? Like I don't know. I just know when to stop. Like when the beat goes, because I didn't even know I was gonna rap until I was like in the military at 18. I always been a music connoisseur. I had the booklets. I was the nigga with the CD booklets. I would rap everyone else's song to you. Like if I wrote it, I knew every lyric. I was that nigga that I strive for learning everything so I could be the nigga that knows every song and shit. And then as I got in the military, I started niggas going on battles in San Diego, and this nigga was trash and he was winning. And I'm like, bro, I can win those $100 because I could write better than that shit. That's how I started.
I know that feeling, bro. When you see the winner and you're like, that's it?
What the fuck? I could do this shit.
Oh man, that's funny, bro.
And I think since I was really picky on liking good music, I was very like good with the ear. I think that helped me know what to put out, what not to. I was very picky, and I've had a pretty successful shit, because after Total Control, we did Shaded Gray. We and a buddy from Vegas, we did an album. We put it out like legit and all that shit. It got, licensing projects on fucking Real World, Oprah Winfrey Network, Road Rules, all those Love Games. And they were just playing our track, but that's the first time I started receiving checks, like official. I made off the trunk CD, blank CDs, covers and shit, but you get that check coming, even if it was $200, $300, $500, like that shit's the best feeling in the world. It's like, you ever did a show, you're a rapper, you did a show and the mic's feedback and everything's horrible, you hate it, you just want to get the fuck off the stage, you finish the set and you feel like shit, and one nigga comes up and be like, yo, y'all killed it, and that takes away all that shit that I felt, and it's all gone, and I was like, this was why I did this
thank you, you made this whole shit
you took away that horrible like anxiety I was feeling on stage, sweating, like I know I'm fucking up, but everyone's like watching.
I remember, man, I would get off stage, like I'll have a bad show, the sound's bad, the sound man don't give a fuck, feedbacking. Like I went on 2.5 hours after they said I was gonna go on.
Right, you're like a 2 a.m. show, like 8 people, like what the fuck, man?
And then like I get off stage, and then I would do this thing where I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna go to the bar, but I'm gonna go through all the people and see who dabs me up. You know what I'm saying?
right. Strategic fucking move.
And then people will see me cross their path and be like, yo, tight shit, bro.
Word.
Yo, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
That takes away all that.
Since then, man, I've had a good amount of bad shows, because of the production quality of the show. That since then I invested in all my own shit. I have, and so that's one of the things that sparked my interest to do this podcast with you, because Mowgli was telling me how like you also invested in your own here with the stickers and your clothing.
Our first label was Total Control Production, meaning we did our own graphics, we did our art, we did our own music, we did original. It wasn't that dope, but we were our own beats. We never started like doing shit. Then we started doing that whole dubbing like beats, famous beats and shit. But in the beginning, it was all our own shit. We were very picky on like, yo, I want to do everything. We'll do our own covers, we'll do everything, we'll shoot our own videos, and it was like that. But then you can't. When you're in the industry, you start learning like you have to network. Like that's what Miami lacked for a while. Now Wynwood and all this shit are allowing more groups to get together. The community's becoming like LA and like all these other cities that support each other. Like over here, the cutthroat, everyone don't give a fuck about each other, bro. Let's go crazy.
You know, man, like that is definitely the downside of being self-sufficient. Like you learn how to do everything, so you don't got to reach out to nobody, and then now you can't build with nobody because
Like
you just
that
by
50 Cent
yourself.
effect when he started beef with everybody. Then when like all T.I. and all these niggas got together, it kind of pushed him away, and he was not getting played down here because it was T.I., Lil Wayne, Fat Joe, Terror Squad. Like they were vibing it because he beefed with all these motherfuckers. They kind of slowly pushed him out from. I never heard him down here, but he was still popping in New York.
Like I almost found myself getting kind of stuck in that cycle of being like, you know what, I really don't need anybody, but now that I think about it, people can probably need me from what I have.
Right.
So instead of me being bitter about not getting any opportunity from people that had something that I needed, now I have everything that I need, and let me help other people out. And it kind of turns the tables, you know what I'm saying?
The beautiful thing about it is, you know, unfortunately, we still haven't gotten where we wanted to be in the game, but through this whole timeline and process, because of it, I was telling my boy, we just threw an event, 305 Stay Live, our first event with Color Tracks, and it was big. We had A-Hole, we had the Enlight Smoke Shop from Wynwood, we had 131, Sky Monroe, Omniscient, everyone came out. It was a big event. Uber Wings trucks came out, and it was very successful. And I was like, look, we don't realize it, but over these last 10, 12 years we've been doing this shit, like, we have homies and friends that be getting deeper in the game. This nigga is a bass player for Pitt. This nigga's in Telemundo. This guy's here. This guy's Latin Nami Grammy. But we have people in that shit, but we don't even realize it. And then when we threw this event, we saw the energy and how we all got together, and it was super successful, man. But y'all don't know, go to 305staylive.com. You can see the event, the recaps, and we're about to throw another one in a few months, man. It's gonna be live, art, music, and music.
You know, man, like speaking of that, you mentioned a website. You know, the other day I went on the internet and I looked up the305.com. It's not even there no more.
Nope.
It's not even there no more. Yeah. It's crazy how like something that was the beacon, it ain't even there no more.
You know, I think it's happening all around because Instagram has IG channels and Facebook has like, I think it's all in one platform now. So those .coms are slowly disintegrated because now it's all like, hey, go to my page and click on my link and go to my IGTV channel and all my videos there, and it's YouTube and that. And like they're eliminating those extra.
I think that where it's gonna go from here is like, it's gonna go from all my music is on Spotify and every streaming platform to, yo, y'all want my shit? I'm gonna promote it on Instagram and YouTube, but the link in the bio is gonna take you to my website, and if you want it, you gotta get it directly from there. Yeah, that's where it's gonna go.
What people don't know is just like in the military. I'm a vet, but they don't tell you all your benefits. You have to kind of go find it, right? So the music, I just found out too. Shout out to Omniscient. We was doing a show, and he was telling me like our music's registered. So he goes, yo, when I do a set, I'm CSAC member, and I'm ASCAP. He's like, yo, you submit that you did a show, your lineup, and you submit the tracks. Like, those count as you're playing. You can get paid for all your shows. So you start like, just submitting like your performances and gigs, and you tell them, hey, this place played. Like, you get paid for that. A lot of artists should know that shit. Like, look into everything, all your documents, and you can get paid in ways you don't even know. Like, if they played at a club, at a bar, at an event, you can submit it, and they will approve it, and you'll start getting trickles of dollars, and that shit will stack, and you get checks.
It's like the DJ that played your song gets like a notice in the mail, like, what the fuck? I owe $7. What the fuck?
I gotta pay all these niggas.
I'm gonna just start making my own shit.
Right.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's dope, man. The game has evolved, and I don't want to be that bitter nigga. Be like, oh, it was better in my time. Like, so I've tried hard to like understand it. Sometimes I do feel that because I am, 90s motherfucker, but I have to open my mind because at the same time I'm the ignorant motherfucker in the 90s. I love Wu-Tang lyricists, but I love Juvenile when he came out. Master P, I had all the No Limits, so I like that ignorant fucking Southern shit from the South. So I kind of like Young Thug and Future, like, even though as much as people are like, oh my god, like, I listen, when I read the lyrics, I like them better, and I understand now. Like, niggas like, oh, how you like that dumb shit? I'm like, why you hating?
Yeah, nah, I'm not like that at all, man. Like, I take like, so if you look at the format of like punchlines nowadays, these rappers, right, these like mumble rappers, whatever. Yo, listen, man, their style of like punchline, it's not about lyrical shit or like rhyming words that are unconventional. It's about a dope ass statement. You get me?
Yeah.
Like
one word. They say one word over and over and over and over.
Or like, okay, for example, rappers like, I'm gonna give you an example. I'm trying to think of an example off the top of my head. It's just they be saying shit that's like
too much sauce, all that shit.
It's just like concise, smart ass statements, and that's their punchlines. Right. Whereas like when we were coming up, it was much more about the capability of putting words together. That was the punchlines to us. Because, South Beach Cypher or whatever, like these little hip-hop events here in Miami, the crowd would react to, oh shit, he rhymed that with that. Damn, that's impressive. And they'll react to your capability of rhyming this with that,
I like it though. It's growing in a good way. Like I said, Miami's starting to be more like, because of Wynwood now, like it's allowing a whole bunch of artists, local artists, to get together and do events, because it's like easier to do at these warehouses than you would at Coconut Grove. And because it shifted, it was South Beach, Coconut Grove, and then all of a sudden it went Brickell, Wynwood. At South Beach, Coconut Grove, not really the two go-tos no more. Like they're still popping, but they're not like what they used to be. We used to be at fucking Fat Tuesdays, 609, Coconut Grove, all this shit, and then South Beach was popping all the time. But now it's Wynwood's like ridiculous, and I like it because it's allowing us to all get together. And I'm starting to see more unity in local artists now than before. It wasn't like that.
What are your thoughts on like on street art from all over the world occupying a lot of space in the walls, whereas like local artists, they're there, but the spotlight isn't on Miami artistry. It's just on overall artistry taking place in Miami.
If you look at that same statement in a different aspect, I'll be like, why aren't these local niggas stepping up and getting that first? You're here. Like, you got to get up and go get it. Like, you're in your backyard and you're allowing a nigga to travel all the way over here and take your spot. Like, you're slipping. Like, what's going on?
Like, just like buff
just
over
like music,
it.
some people have that advantage by the name. They're already established. So I get that. But at the same time, like, hey, what are you doing? Like,
yo, not for nothing, but like, I have 2 jobs right now, right? My second job at the moment, I work at the DJI store in Wynwood, like the drone store.
All right.
And whenever we put a drone in the air, we see a lot of rooftops that are like mad empty. Like, y'all are slipping. Y'all need to be hitting up rooftops, bro.
Right,
it's
change
like,
it up. It's like barbershops are doing it now. Before, like, all right, we barbershop, we do it. Now, like, they're starting, like, I see barbershop, like, pool tables, they're serving little fucking wine, shit. Like, what else can you do? Like, you can't do nothing else, so you gotta add flavor to that shit. Like, look at my dope boy. My dope boy sells a pack of cigarettes with pre-rolled blunts in here, packaged in here. You buy it already, like a cigarette box. And
allegedly.
Shout out to Loud Pack Posse. Welcome to the posse. Yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Look, it's all marketing and brand.
That's what's up, man. Shit, bro. It's crazy, the power of like branding, bro. You just really all that is a print machine.
Yep.
You know?
And all it is just dry, bro. Like, come on, like I told you, it goes back to that scavenging money for a blunt and a dime or something. You make it happen. Or getting that pussy. You got like a little bit of money, but you're gonna go to the bar, stretch out that drink, holler at this bitch, and hopefully we don't go nowhere else, and you get that pussy. She don't know you only had $27.
Like, look, like you, like, while she's not looking, you ask the bartender, yo, what are your specials right quick? Oh,
exactly.
2 for $5.
It's like that David Chappelle have baked. She's like, damn, she wants fucking.
Oh yeah.
She wants double shot. Like, fuck, I got 7 cents.
He like tips the money in the jar and grabs the rest of it.
Right. You feel me? It's like, that's crazy. Like.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's funny, man, what people are capable of, man. And that potential of a person is what leaves me kind of like a little let down most of the time. Yeah. Because people are content with being way the fuck below what they're capable of, man.
But you know what? In the same sense, because like I told you how I'm thinking now, I look at it like, damn, I haven't made it yet. So I'm like, I can't judge them because I got to reevaluate myself. Like, you can't tell a nigga what he's doing wrong. I'm like, yo, what am I doing? Like, I'm not in yet either. Like, it's out there. When you hear Soulja Boy, niggas like that make it, and I don't, I'm like, I get frustrated, but at the same time, like, he's doing something. Like,
I just find myself wanting to save people too much, man. Like, that's just in my character. I see somebody that
you know what? That's gonna make
rap.
You different riches, bro. That's gonna make you more rich in a different way, which is probably better than money. Because all these niggas get money. I don't want to be famous no more. Before I wanted cribs and be popular. Now I just want to put my music out, make money from it, and do what I want to do. But I'd rather not be famous.
Yeah, Royce the 5'9" has this one line where he's like, he goes, I tell him, little nigga, listen here. You're grinding so you could be seen. I'm grinding so I could disappear.
Right.
It's crazy, you know?
Shout out to Royce, dog.
Yeah, man. I feel you, man. I mean, like, you know, I don't know. I just see a lot of people. The thing is this, bro. I'm going to just be real, man. Like, so you look at the leading artists from Florida, and none of them came from the scene that I came up on.
Right.
Like, the only one that came from the scene that I came up on is Recognize, and he's in Mayday.
Shout out to Mayday, though.
Everybody else
Recognize dope.
is not on the radar like I would believe that they're capable of. And to me, that almost feels like that makes me want to like, yo, you know what, bro? We need to fucking make some shit happen. I don't like the fact that the leading artists from Florida are not making Florida look too good right now. I'm just being real,
and
you know.
And if it's not working, like, you could change the format. Look, like, I always take an example. I tell people, like, look at Akon, Pitbull, Outkast. Right when they came out, Pitbull was like that 305, dirty, damn it, man. As soon as he got that money, he made the music he wanted to make. And dancing party shit. He probably wanted to do that, but now he's got his own following and money. Outkast came out hood, Georgia shit. As soon as he got that dough, pink fucking wigs and goddamn shoulder pads and fucking cowboy shit. And weird shit. And then same thing with Akon, locked up, convict, hood shit. As soon as he got dope, signed Lady Gaga, started doing worldwide like dance music. And then I think that's what you do. If it's not working, like I'm a comic fan. Todd McFarlane is the creator of Spawn. I saw a documentary. He's saying it's like a juggler. I learned my limit. Like 5 is my limit. He's like, my art is my main thing I'm trying to put out there, but I'm gonna try to do films, try to do toys, and do this shit, and have my pillars. Because if that's successful, that would allow me to go back to my original plan, is showcase my art. So that's why I do the shirts and all that shit. Because now with that, I could do my music easier because I have the income and I can support my own self, but at the same time, come up. So, and you got to know your limit of what you can juggle. Like he said, even the most expert juggler has 20 things he can juggle. You add one more ball, he's gonna drop it because he's not ready. So learn your limit of what you can juggle and juggle that and do it, because those are your pillars for your main thing. Your main thing is your art or your music or whatever the fuck, but you can branch out, and that's what I've always done, and it's been helping me because when one fails, I keep going with one, and it allows me to re-showcase that art.
And you know what? Like people like will look at, so you're no longer doing this rapping thing, you're doing that now. They don't realize that you're thinking long term. Like, yeah, I'm obviously still doing my rap shit, but I'm investing a year out of my life to build this up so that the next 10 years of my life will be a lot easier instead of like just trying to hustle like some fucking...
I even told Mowgli, the pressure I used to have before when I was with Shaded Grade, it was like legit, we're really putting out like official albums. It was hard because it's pressure, like release dates, trying to have that product in the album. Right now, since music is not what I'm really like, I'm not trying to put out this album, make 1,000 print covers and sell it, do a album release party, all that shit. Like, no, like, so that pressure's off. So I've been writing like crazy lately. I'm about to drop a mixtape soon because this is keeping me at peace and making money right away. Like, one thing is why I like the shirt shit, because it's money right now. Music, you invest and you hopefully you can make back money from tours, videos, or market, whatever, and like make it back. But it's a gamble. With shirts, it's automatic, and that's why I do that. But that's gonna allow me to put out music carefree with no stress, and back to how it started. When I used to make music, we'll record all night and pick out, and we'll make so many tracks, and we'll have like 10 bangers in that shit. Then it got to the point like every song we was trying to make a banger, and it's too much stress. Like I had to leave work, come home, and go into rap mode, and be like, this has to be the hit. And I didn't like that. It wasn't fun no more. It was like a job, and I kind of like lost love for like a year or two, and then I came and Mowgli got me back in. We did a track, and that shit sparked me, and that's it. But I'm already on a better plane with the business. GMPR took off. I started this shit because I collected shoes and hats and sneakers. I had mad colorful LeBrons, J's, and all that shit. So I always made shirts, but I would go to companies, get one shirt with my design already. I designed, but they would charge me 30, 25, 35 for a shirt. My ex was like, yo, find out how to make this shit and cut them in. And now you already designed everything, just make it yourself. And that's how we started. And then one nigga was like, yo, how much for that? I'm like, I don't know, I don't sell shirts. Sold to 2 niggas, 3 niggas, then it became 10 average, 25. Now I'm doing 100, 150. Now I'm becoming vendors for Baptist, Miami-Dade County schools. I'm trying to become like that residual coming in. And I work full time at the hospital, you feel me? So like, and that's what I like too. Before I used to worry about my veteran background. I already know my regular background, so I'm not worried when nobody says. And then, you know, being educated, like before that was like, you can't be a hood rapper and be like smart, you feel me? And like comics and do this shit, like that's out the door. So it helped me to be myself. And then like, I don't have to like front, and I've never have on music. That's one thing that also fucked with me because I don't like lying. Let
me ask you something, man. Like, what is your so on the intelligence category, what is your favorite subject to delve into? Is it science, math, history, philosophy?
I would say science. My brother has a lot to do with that because he reads up on our shit, and it's intriguing because that's the only truth. I'm not atheist or nothing. I've been born Catholic, converted Christian when my cousin got killed, and then I stopped going to church. And then with everything, you put all those pieces, you put science and logic behind that. Like, it's hard to believe some of these religions. Like, everyone has good points, but everyone's missing one thing that makes it solid. Every religion, like, there's all good points of certain religions, and then they're like, yeah, I don't agree with that one right there. Like, I don't agree with this. Even Satanism has some good points, but then there's some crazy, like, whoa, that shit's weird. Like, that makes me look into science, and that's why now I don't say I don't believe in God, but I'm like, I have to see to believe now. Like, I still have faith because I grew up in that, but it's hard because you got to think science.
So you know the movie Tron?
Yeah,
from the 80s
I'm
or whatever.
A nerd, dog. I know all that shit.
Okay, so you know how like that whole world in the computer, like they exist, and Tron made that computer. That's kind of how I see existence is, man. Like science is like just the algorithm that existence exists on, but that formula had to have been formed by some type of intelligent being.
I sometimes can't sit and agree with that one thing is because I'm a trippy dude, so I've done shrooms and shit like that. And when you go into these planes and like you experience some shit, you start like, what the fuck? Look what our mind's capable of. Like I saw shit like I saw another thing, and your brain might think that you're like, yo, I was tripping last night, but you start analyzing that shit, it makes you look at life different. Like, yo, our brain's so capable of so much shit. And like when I was on that trip, it wasn't on no druggy shit. It was more on like, yo, I'm thinking like life and how in depth that we're all connected, and like that's what you're thinking. Like if everyone felt like that in a sense, that's why like Joe Rogan and Mike Tyson are talking about that MDA shit. They get that bullfrog from the rainforest and they do that shit, and it makes them like, he's like, I felt like I resurrected, like it's changed my life. Like it's true in a sense. They're actually trying to legalize for PTSD people from military to try shrooms, because you think about it, when you do those trippy shits, you unlock shit. Even if your worst fears, you have a bad trip, but guess what? You face your worst fear and you survived it. So it makes you like, oh shit, I faced that. Forced. You open doors that you've been locking up and closed up, but because you're tripping and all that shit, you open up and you trip out, bad or good. And it makes you like, holy shit, I was fearing always to worry about it, and it happened, and then I'm good. So I think it would help instead of drugging these motherfuckers. I have a lot of friends that drugged up. Like I have drugs, but I don't take them all. But if I took all the shit they would give me, nigga, like shit, I'll be a fucking zombie.
I don't know, man. Like I have this, I'm Christian, and I have this take on the fact that all these different religions exist. And I mean, mind you, man, I don't have no. This is just an idea that I had one day. Like in the Tower of Babylon, right? Babel, when he was saying like they built a tower so high it was getting close to the heavens, that he's like, nah, chill. He tore it down and he split everybody up, and then that lost in translation of everyone's trying to perceive God and they can't explain it to one another. I almost feel like the true test of different religions is for you to remain faithful to your perception of it. Right. It's like someone's Muslim or someone is Satanist or whatever it is. Like instead of me trying to change your opinion on it, I think that the true test is like, yo, someone's gonna try to derail you of what you believe God is.
Kind of goes into every aspect, music, art. Like, hey, don't worry about if they talking
stay
shit. Like,
faithful, stay
and that's
faithful.
why some of these trashy dudes that we hate us sometimes, they get sick because they don't listen and they keep going. And it's like, hey, sometimes you got to give props to that hustle. Like, they hear all those fucking common mumble rap they're calling, but they make it happen. So it's like, you're right.
Yeah, it's like the little engine that could. It's like, look, people are gonna try to derail you, but it's like, no, man, this is the path that I'm on. Like, just chill. Let me get to where I'm gonna go. And I feel like that's the true test, bro. Even Jesus like struggled with temptation the whole time. Not to like bring it up,
No, I respect the beliefs and everything. I don't mind. I don't get bothered by religion.
No, it's all good.
Everyone has their own shit. Like, why don't let nobody's thing fuck with yours. So like, one thing that I did like, I might not agree with like the whole like the religious shit, but one movie that helped me, like I like that concept, like Book of Eli. I don't think it's so much that what it is. It's just the book didn't have power. It's just the hope that people apply to that, and having that faith is something to put their beliefs in. That's what the power.
I love that movie,
and that's why I never agreed to one religion, because I'm like, okay, so what about the millions of people that are not Christian? Are they going to hell because they live in a village and they don't know Jesus Christ? I'm like, no, I believe if you put all your faith into your power, that's all that life's about, being that positive shit. You feel me? Like, who's wrong and who's right.
The last time that I dosed myself, I'm not gonna say when because I'm on probation right now, but like the last time that I dosed myself, man, I had this profound moment where I was like, yo, you know what? What if, I think I'm a rapper, I'll be on that tour life mentality, and I'm like, yo, you know what? What if Jesus was on tour and Earth was just one of the stops, and humanity was just a tough crowd?
That's why I also don't believe. That's why I don't believe. Also, this is the only, like, come on, I don't believe it's the only life.
No, of course not, for sure.
So
man.
then, come on, then like
that's so pretentious of us.
But then that fucks with like most concepts of most religions. Like, hold on, because that means there is. We call them aliens, but if it's anywhere from not Earth, there's an alien to us. So that means you believe in aliens. You get me? Because you said no, of course not. So like, you're religious, you're Christian, but the fact that you also know logic and science, like, it can't be impossible. There's too many stars out there, and you mean to tell me the sun's a star and all these fucking stars, there's no planet close enough with the right amount of oxygen and carbon that make it, like, what if they're like, we think aliens that have spaceships that come down, teleport, what if they're like Avatar and fucking bow and arrows and underwears in the jungle and they're just looking up too? Like, what if they're that kind of aliens and they're like, one day
or like us from the future just came back to visit us in the past? And
so like, see how crazy it is when you think of like, even you were like, yeah, I believe there's more, but like,
because the thing is that like
the religion though, you feel me?
Like, you know how like parents tell their kids like, yo, like, don't worry about what's beyond what I'm telling you, just do what the fuck I say. I feel like that's God telling us like, yo, listen, so what if there's other Earths? Just focus on what I'm telling you. and the rest it literally is beyond us.
That's why I respect religion or people that follow like the secrets or vibration, because it's all the same thing. It's just your reasoning is a different reason, but like you're putting good vibes because you're Christian in this, and you say Jesus, changed my life. It's true. And then the people that do the secret, I put in good vibes and only send out good energy, I get good energy back. It's true also. That's all it is, but we have different reasons that we make the cause of it. Is like Jesus caused this. It was because it could be good vibrations, but it's the same thing. It falls back to the energy, and they've been proven that we reflect energy upon each other. There is energy that gets transferred to each other, and that's how, like, when you hear beats that are intense, the vibrations give you that intensity because it's science. So it's been proven. So that's why I believe, like, that's why all that shit works. But then some people, whatever you want to use your fucking catalyst to be, like, I respect that because it's all about that energy and how you focus your energy. So that's why, like, everybody's right in a sense. No one's really wrong. It's just everyone's trying to make everybody agree with them. Like, let everybody do their own shit. Some niggas do country, some niggas do rap. Like, let that nigga be Christian, Catholic, Muslim, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah, nah, I'm not a fan of people trying to play God, bro.
Right. I hate when they push it. I don't mind talking about it, but, like, don't try to convert me, like, right now. You feel me? That's what I don't like.
Yo, Mowgli to the same shit.
My brother's like that.
He's like, yo, don't convert me, motherfucker.
My brother don't believe in like religious shit. So when someone says bless, he's like, that doesn't mean nothing. There's no God. And then he tries to convince that person and he won't back down. Like, yo, let him be. Like,
and the guy's like, yo, chill, man. I just sneezed and I got allergies. I ain't trying to have this debate with you right now.
Like, yo, my brother, I love that nigga. The other day somebody passed away. He's like, oh, he's in a better place. Like, no, he's not. He's just dead. Like, there's no heaven. I'm like, Dad, you're a dick. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, like, I try not to engage in, because the thing is that I don't like to try to explain things that I don't fully understand.
Especially 2019, dog. Everybody's sensitive.
Yeah, that
Holy
too, man.
fuck.
That too. We're living funny times. Half
of my vocabulary is fucking bad for, like, if they had a camera on me, I would not be famous because of that.
I'm not a fan of it, bro. I'm not a fan of how everyone's mad sensitive and no one can spell for shit. I'm really not a fan of none of that.
Can't do cursive. Holy shit.
Like, cursive supposedly isn't even about learning how to write the language. It's about training your mind to tolerate, like, just following through.
Swiftness.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't rush.
I feel like that's the zen of cursive, writing in cursive,
That's why I enjoy this vinyl shit I do with my shirts, because people are like, yo, you sit there for like mad hours and I don't know how you have time to watch shows. I'm like, nigga, I'm making 200 shirts and I'm there for 3 hours, but I'm peeling and it's therapeutic. I'm by myself, drinking, smoking, and I'm like peeling. I spend a couple hours and it's therapeutic, dog. It's like, it puts my mind at ease. And then I watch shit, and then that's why I started drawing. I was making shirts. I never drew. My brother's a dope drawer. I never can draw shit. I was waiting for shirts to get printed, and I had my little booklet. I drew some shit. I'm like, oh shit, that looks pretty fresh. Then I started drawing. I came up with all these Mind Stone, all these stickers that I have, and now I learned that the comic book world has conventions, SuperCon, bro, and there's money there. I saw a homie there. I'm like, yo, what's up? Like, is it worth getting a booth? He's like, nigga, nowhere out here in the real world can you pay $600 and get the promotion and shit you're gonna get here for these 4 days and the kind of network you're gonna do. He's like, it's worth it. He's like, even if you don't sell shit, but you are gonna sell.
Nah, yeah, and like, you're there, man. It looks official.
And I'm already spending something to get the VIP pass, go as a guest. He's like, bro, throw a couple $100 more. You're there first. You get meet vendors, and then you're selling shit. And it's true. I did it last year for the first time. Success. And now I'm doing July in Miami. So it's like, it's dope, man. I love it.
Yeah, speaking of conventions, I was trying to bring this up earlier, like, because you mentioned that you used to collect sneakers, right? So, like, some years ago, I opened up for Stally, the rapper.
Right.
3 or 4 shows. I think it was like 3 shows. It was on the Florida leg of his little tour where he was opening up for. He was headlining the sneaker convention called Soul Exchange.
Oh, Soul Exchange. Hell yeah,
they had
the store. They had the store, don't they? That's Soulfly.
No, you're talking about Soulfly.
No, Soul Exchange is
Soul Exchange
the
was like people come through and they buy, sell, and trade sneakers, whatever. And then they had rappers perform. And like, the funny thing about that is that, like, you have 1,000 people there, but they're not there for a hip hop show. They're there to sell and trade sneakers. But you're still there, and you might get like a few people to actually pay attention to you because they're trying to make money. But you know where the lick is on the shit like that? Being one of the vendors.
Right. Like, that's why I got into the con.
Yeah. Like, listen, you could be a rapper, but you have a table as a vendor, and then you'll get much more. That's where the attention is at.
Goes back to my juggling. I'm doing comic shit. I get in the car, I have my table, but I can have my CDs there. I can have my fucking stickers here, my fucking that, and I'm showcasing everything because one of my pillars is allowing me the platform to showcase whatever I want. I can slide a TV back there, have my visuals with music videos, my music, and that's what I mean. Like, get more, like your podcast. You're out there, and then when your album drops, you have more avenues to stretch that shit out to. You feel me?
Word. I mean, really, man. When I started this podcast, aside from creating another avenue of media, it was also because, and it's not the first time I mentioned this, but like, you know, if you don't have a publicist, you're not gonna get a lot of interviews.
Right.
But interviews are crucial for people to just get to know you, man. Just get to know you as a person and how that adds context to your music and shit. So I'm like, you know what, man? Let me just do a fucking podcast and I'll have 30 interviews. You know what I'm saying?
Look how this is common knowledge and it's shocking that no one does what you're doing. Like, look, that's smart. Like, the fact that you think that way, sometimes we think that it's like easy thing, but like not a lot of people think of it. It's like when you see a fucking like, oh shit, someone put a little straw extender and turns it. Like, that was the dumbest idea, but some nigga did it and got paid. Like, something so simple, but because you put the initiative, that's what you're doing.
You know, like and also speaking of initiative and like, so like now there's stencils all over Wynwood, but like in 2011, I made a stencil with my friend of my brand 12 a.m. and in downtown, like where Grand Central was,
right,
like that whole area, all the Metro Rail stops.
Right.
I had a spray can with red paint, and I hit up every single sidewalk, every single one. Man, had my logo, like not every single one all over Miami, but in the downtown and Wynwood area, like. I was the only fucking stencil in the majority of it, and nowadays there's stencils everywhere, and I'm just happy to see that there's more of that. But at the same time, it's like, you know what, I was kind of, at least in my city, because stencils obviously existed a long time, but no one was doing it.
Right.
You know, no one was fucking doing it, and I kind of feel like doing it again, but this time a big ass stencil. You know,
do it, because dog, every time that I'm out there, I'm looking at the floor, looking at the walls, and I stop and I'm posting and taking pictures. Like, that's why I love that place, because it allows all of us to go there. Like, you can usually smoke everywhere. You don't have to know dress code. So it took away all that shit that we used to worry about. There's some niggas that don't like wearing no hats. You know, they gotta wear the hat. Like, I gotta go to the club and dress up, button up. Like, some niggas don't have that money, and there's like a lot of shit's free. It's dope. It's dope. I like Wynwood a lot, man. It's helped I think our art community and the music community, because now you're seeing a lot of more events and like open mic shit. It's dope.
What are your thoughts on Miami, specifically Miami? Because, you know, like this Noche podcast, even though like we touch on other topics, like it's about Miami hip hop at the end of the day,
sure.
You know, at least for now. But like, what are your thoughts on the Miami hip hop scene today opposed to, let's say, 10 years ago?
Here's my honest opinion. 10 years ago, I was more in tune to everything that's popping off. Lately, I kind of just like I like the scenes that the artists I've been messing with, which is a lot, not fully rap. It's a lot of different genres. I've been like, when I go to Wynwood, I'm with Experimento. They're, you know, a rock fusion reggae band, Locos and all these, but a couple rappers. But I'm not even. I'm the type of person like Kanye said, lock yourself in a room for 3 summers. Like, I don't really go out there and I don't give a fuck, because I got that from the Russo brothers that make Avengers. They're like, you know what? I know people have all these ideas, but we're not focused on that. Like, we already know our plan, and I'm not trying to hear that to derail my thoughts. Like, I don't want to. Like, I'll listen when people put it on. I respect that, jam it, but I try to unplug. Like, I'd rather not, because then I try to compete, sound, or I don't want to use anything to influence me, or like. But whenever I get showcased something, I like hearing new shit. I'm not like a hater. Like, anything I like new, like, I like it. But I'm not really in tune, dog, because I'm like unplugged. I'm working on my shit. I'm working to my next thing, and then it's easier. There's no more stress. Like,
I'm not really mad at that. I mean, thankfully Instagram exists now, so I'll just scroll my timeline.
That's how I get exposed. Me too.
But at the same time, I really don't be following a lot of people from my
It's
city.
whatever catches my ear through the thing. Then I'll dig in deeper once I see it and it catches my eye. I'll go search and find out more. But it helps me, because it's like anything else. Like, I'm not stressing about that. Like, before I would worry what people would think, or worry about what was hot. Like, once I got rid of like trying to make a track for someone, that nigga Black Six Black or whatever the fuck, he said on one of his skits, he's like, why am I gonna do something for the people, and if that shit pops off and I sell records, now I gotta, like, that's what they expect from me, and that's not even the type of music I make. So I'm like, why would you do it for somebody because you're trying to please that crowd, and then you pop out? Like, you better be doing that shit over and over, and you're not gonna even love that shit. That's not even your style of music. Like,
yeah, I don't know, man. I have a hard time describing my music, to be honest with you. Like, people try to ask me what type of music I make, like whatever. That is such a hard question for me to answer, bro. I have no idea how to describe the type of music I make. Honest to God, I really don't.
I always express it because I feel the same way, because I could touch on any kind of stuff. So I always say, like, I'm a narrator of like my surroundings. Like, I narrate for like the streets and what my upbringing. That's what I am. Like a poet that can showcase you, show you basically what's going on. Like,
and mind you, the thing is that like, I'm not trying to come off like, oh, a word doesn't exist yet to describe what I make. No, man. Like, every word exists to explain everything. But like, I'm just unaware. I need to pay somebody to be like, all right, Art, I heard all your songs and I saw your videos. this is how you are, and I'll be like, thank you, man, take my money.
But in the same sense, imagine this. Yes, it's true. You would like to have like, but what if like, why do we have to? Why does it have to be a genre? Why do you have to be labeled? Why can't you just be Art Morera? He makes music.
Because it makes it a lot easier to get placements on playlists.
True that. But they can decide that. That's how some songs get on pop, something going rap, and it's like, hey, that wasn't really a pop song, but it charted on pop.
Yeah, nah, you had mentioned who was that? Like Lil Nas X. Like this is like
he got that scam with the
cut out from the country music. And yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like, look, man, like it's a blend of trap music with country. What's wrong with that, you know?
But I get their point too. Like, yo, just because you say horses and talk like a cowboy don't mean it's a country song. Cause he didn't really say shit. He's just like, I would take my horse to the hotel room.
You know why? Because it feels like he's mocking country.
You know what helped it? Fucking when Billy Ray Cyrus, I like his version better.
And
like,
you know what, man?
Like
that,
fire.
yeah, that is the song. Like, forget about the original.
Yeah,
that is the record.
I deleted it, download the new one. Like, yo, Billy Ray killed it with his verse and his style of singing. Like,
it's my favorite part of the song, bro.
He's dope.
Brand new guitar. When I was in Missouri, bro, like every morning, because I had to do some time in Missouri. Like every morning, we would line up to go to breakfast, and on TV, you're supposed to have the news. That's like what you're allowed to watch.
Right,
but they don't give a fuck. They put it to country music videos. And I grew a real liking to the thing about country music is that if the accent isn't real heavy, I can tolerate it. But once the accent starts getting obnoxiously country, I tune it out.
You know what happened to me? To me, it's not even accent. To me, it's just if that shit ain't vibing, I don't like it. If it sounds good and I'm already bobbing my head, I'm a jam to it. And I got that because I wasn't like that. What happened? I joined the military. My roommate's a fucking redneck from Oregon with a NASCAR shirt and a pack of Marlboros in his back, tight ass jeans. And another nigga's from fucking Philippines. I have an African named Aji Mandu, and I got a Mexican from Arizona. And it's like, you have to like, I have a new clique because I'm forced to hang out with them, and these are my friends. And then you start getting exposed to shit. You're like, oh shit, I didn't even know. Like, first time I meet a motherfucking African from Zimbabwe and shit, and you're from where? Philippines and shit, like. And that helped me open my eyes, and that's why I started like doing different shit. And that's what some people don't get. Some of these hood niggas, like my homies, I come back and they're talking all this shit. Like, you don't know shit. You've only gone to Orlando and Key West, dog. Like that's the most traveling you've done. Nigga.
Right, traveling is very important, man. I tell people,
that's
like,
better than money, bro.
Look, bro, it really doesn't cost that much money to do a cross country road trip. You think that it costs a lot? It really is not a lot, bro. Like I've driven from here to California 20 times, bro. Like
it's fear. You and I learned how to survive broke, so we know how to manage and do everything with a budget, because that's how I've always been. Cause I never had money, so I always travel cheap and like, how can I do the cheapest way? How can I get here? Strip club with 20 singles and try to stretch out my drink. Like everything's always been, how do I make it through without being broke? So I think that's what we have an advantage of. Some people that don't even know how to deal with fucking not having, like, they think it's impossible. Like you've never like been in sufficient funds, motherfucker. Like that's always like all the time for me. Like,
yeah, nah, it really is not that. It's not that. It's that people. They think that the further okay, so from here to California, say 3,300 miles. They see that and be like, 3,300 miles, that's like $1,000, and it's not. You can do it on like $300.
But even if it is, it's like $350 for the flight. Like, but you bought a PlayStation or Gold Grill, or you went and fucking did this stupid shit, tattoo. Like you could have gone to Paris for $400, nigga. Like, but you want to go buy a PS4 with like 2 controllers and spend $5 and put it on like. And it's just what your priority.
And if they're smart about it, the thing is like. If they're smart about it, man, you could actually even make money on the road, especially nowadays. You get a drone, you get your license, and now you can fly your drone for money and get paid to travel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But whatever, man. That's a whole other.
Right.
Like, yo, I wanted to ask you, man. This is something that I put on my little to-do list to ask you because, so you watch anime?
So I'm in tuned, so I know like My Hero and all these things, and I grew up with Ninja Scroll, Akira, but. I'm not in there, but I worked at a figure shop, so I know the animes. I know enough, but I'm not super deep. I'm into like cartoons, but not Japanese anime, and I love comic shit.
So you never seen like Death Note?
Yeah, I seen Death Note, the movie and the series.
Okay, so you seen Death Note?
Yeah,
I'm watching Death Note again on Netflix, and like, yo,
lights
and L, you know. Kita.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm watching it, right? And
what, the series or the Netflix original?
The series.
Yeah, Netflix.
No, the series, the anime. So like I noticed something today because I'm watching it. I'm like I'm almost at the end now. Everyone, like whoever's name you write in that notebook and you think about their face, they'll die. Right? To me, that reminds me a lot of like cancel culture today. Have you noticed that? Right. It's like, you know what? I don't agree with this guy. I'm gonna make a tweet.
And everyone's gonna follow that
and
shit.
Ruin this guy's life just because I don't rock with him like that. You know, it's kind of funny. Like, obviously, death know you lose your life, but like, yo, these motherfuckers, bro. Like,
Eminem showed that in that visual with that video he did. What's his name? When everyone's wearing hoodies and red eyes and like they're all like copying them do that shit.
With
yes, that
with
motherfucker's
Joyner
dope.
Lucas.
Joyner Lucas, dope.
Yeah.
Shout out to Joyner Lucas. But that video is dope because what I got out of that, it was like, look, society's just following like whatever these motherfuckers do, they follow. Like you're just not even doing what you want. You're like following what the crowd does. Like that's what I took out of that. And that's what's happening. It sucks.
Yeah. A lot of people are becoming real NPC, bro. Like non-playable character. You ever heard of that phrase?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're becoming non-playable character, man. The thing is, bro, like it's one thing to acknowledge when someone has reason for whatever cause that they're fighting, but at the same time, it's even more important to think for yourself, bro. Like to be a free thinker, man. You know, I understand that we're very tribal, whatever, you know, we're very tribal, but at the same time, no one is 100% gonna line up to your ideals.
Right.
Like I could be in the same room with somebody that has different political beliefs, different religions, different favorite rappers. I can be in the same room with you and we can get along.
Right.
The problem comes in when, damn dog, just because I think differently than you, you're gonna start trying me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
they don't want to like
chill,
understand
bro.
and let you be like, because we're all creatures of habit. That's why we all follow shit. But when you finally get to break that, that's when you're like open. I think I've reached to that point and not worrying about what motherfuckers think. I look, just how dumb as it sounds, back in like middle school, high school, like I used to say Indian style all the time, but when I was in public, I would like, it would come in my mind and I would think not to say like that because people be like, yo, you sitting all like, and I'm a big dude, you know what I'm saying, sitting Indian style, like, but then I grew up and I'm like, why the fuck would I even worry about that stupid shit? Like, but that's how us growing up with like gangster rap and shit. You had to be hard, you had to be this, like. When you grow up, you know, we getting older, though. That's all that shit is. We getting older and wiser. Like, yo, I don't have to show you shit. Like, I know what the fuck I'm doing, and that's all it's about now. And I think it takes a while to get here. I wasn't always with this mind state, but it took a lot of falls and a lot of fucking things that happened good to finally feel like, yo, this is what you're supposed to do. Like, you're supposed to be on a calm plane, like wrinkle free, and don't allow shit in.
Yeah, like just being confident,
Yeah.
just being confident in just your own
Even
little
when the
style.
world's falling apart, just don't panic. Cause shit will wrinkle out, dog. Like it just, I've been seeing it, so like you have to. And if it doesn't, oh well, get up.
Let me ask you something, man. Like, what are some of your goals for this year?
Oh man, my goals is actually what I've already started doing more vending. Since I just told you I did my first shit last year. I already did 305 Stay Live event. I'm doing the Supercar. I'm trying to do like 2 more before the end of the year. And eventually my goal is to travel and go to other states where they have cons, like the bigger cons, and start just going there and, you know, producing enough income to profit and make me travel and make more money in different places. I can just hop around, you know what I'm saying, go travel to places and then get my business out there. Like I told you earlier, I'm trying to get bigger accounts. So I'm in the process of getting becoming a vendor for like the hospital, become a vendor for schools, so I can get those residual shits. Because, you know, it's cool to get these little 20, 30, 40 shirts that people want, but if you get that 500 every like 4 months type shit, that's the kind of shit that keeps your shit going. So I'm new. I started in-house, but it's been growing fast. So I've been now, like you said, like I opened up to the fucking the drawing shit. So now my mind's like, it kind of like slowed down a little bit with the shirts because I'm like, holy shit, I started making money off this avenue right quick. So I'm just feeding those pillars I told you about. Right now I got 2 pillars, like the music, and the stress is not there with the music no more because I don't have to worry about a release and doing this shit. I'm like, it's stress-free and it's fun and it's like my therapy. I will always do music because it's my fucking diary that I can write and express my sadness, my joys, and my happy shit, and it's what I want. I don't care if my style is not what's popping right now and I do the shit, you feel me? Whatever.
Some of my favorite rappers, bro, like started to accumulate a fan base like 15 years, bro, after their shit.
Yeah.
A lot of it is because of social media.
Right.
But it goes to show, man, that like just because you don't pop off immediately doesn't mean if you quit, it's because you probably like weren't doing it for the love. You were doing it for some type of.
But what's your goal? What's pop off? Like, what if you could just make money and live off making your music? You don't have to be famous and red carpet and music video. You can still be successful making music and shows and doing what you love and getting paid and stay, you know, making income. That's the goal for me. Like, I don't care about being famous. I just want to live off of doing what I love. And if I can just secure that and do that on a regular, that's my goal. That's like, in 2 years, I think I could do that with all my shit that I'm planning right now with the business and my, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the goal right there.
A goal of mine for this year is like to catch up on all this pending stuff that I've started and haven't finished yet with music and videos and like before I finish one thing, I start on 5 more things.
Right.
So I'm like God damn it, stop it.
I
Stop
totally
making this
understand.
new
That's
shit.
That's what slows me up too, because I want to do everything. Like you said, I see. That's why I wanted to vibe with you, because I already knew that. I've always seen it. Because I knew when Rev started kicking with you, like, you brought that energy, because that's what it takes. That's why when I kick with Moga, I'm like, yo, sometimes the energy other niggas bring that gets you motivated. You have it. It's just you weren't thinking that until somebody sparks that little fire in your ass, and then you keep going. You feel me? So it's dope, man. Do it, man. Keep doing it. You're building pillars, man. And like you said, there's no end, man. As long as we keep doing it and you're happy and you're making that shit, you can survive. Like, hey, bro, riches is what's inside.
Yeah,
Fuck the money.
like I mean, really, for me, I would say that my end goal, man, like when I was younger, I did want to be like, you know, the greatest rapper alive.
MTV Cribs.
And mind you, like I do believe that I have the potential to rise up to that, but before I get to that, I just want to be able to like buy my mom a house.
Because you have to set realistic goals to accomplish those small ones to get to the big ones. So I think you know that format now, so you wouldn't expect yourself to do a Coliseum and be rich. You like, that's not logical.
Yeah, because look, like you could have a goal of being like, yo, you know what, man, I want to buy my mom a house off this music shit, and then here comes one guy being like, yo, you're tight, and you'd be like, yo, stop bothering me, man, I'm trying to get my mom a house. It's like, yo, chill, bro. Like things are, not only is life one day at a time, but it's one moment at a time, bro. Like when you really break it down, like you can't expect to live a great life, bro, until you allow yourself to enjoy the moment. And then when you look back on all these moments that you've enjoyed, you could be like, you know what, I've lived a pretty pleasant life, bro.
Yeah,
you know, and people get too caught up on just being.
I think I got that from my father's. He deals with disabilities. He's got one eye, so he has a vision disability. I think he's always dealt with that, and because of his attitude of life and the way he approaches shit, he never cared about money and all that shit. So we were never like that. So I love that about my father, because that made me who I am. My riches, like I told you earlier, my friends and the people I'm loyal to. Like I have long-term friends, and like that's what I strive for. And like, but now obviously, since I knew I should get my money right, like now I know what I gotta do, but I don't regret what he made me. Like, feel me? Like I enjoy that more, because this nigga travels all over the place. He has homies all over the countries in the world, and he's getting flown to Brazil here and that because of the love he gives, and like that's rich, dog. And I think that's my example, and that's why I don't worry. Like shit's always fall apart for me, but I don't stress. Niggas be stressed, and I'm like, I don't care. Like it's gonna be okay, dog.
You know, man, like my heart goes out to people that have lost parts of their body. That bugs me out.
It's crazy.
Yo, that bugs me that bugs me out. I have a homegirl of mine, and like I love her to death, but she's a sweetheart, and she was a victim of gun violence, and like now she has one eye.
Damn.
And what's so admirable about this situation is like how she didn't let that,
of course,
not only she didn't let it defeat her, but she didn't let it define her either. You know,
she probably used it and made her the new version she is now because of that incident. Instead of taking it negative, she probably became a better person because how she looks at shit. You feel me?
Yeah, it's wild how like, man, what we're capable of. You know, like you lose something and then it reminds you of everything else.
And we've all had that little small sense of that feeling when you break a leg or arm or brain, and you can't use it. It's like, fuck, my pinky's so important or my thumb is so important. Without using it, like I never realized I can't open this shit with my finger and not move it. Like we all sense it when we all hurt ourselves. Like you get that little sense of that feeling. So imagine the depth of how these people that really lose shit, like vision, arms, legs, limbs, and shit must be crazy, dog.
Yeah, man, it really puts things in perspective. Life is beautiful, man. Like,
it is, man.
Yo, before we close out, bro, fucking Big G, man. Before we close out, bro, like before we started, you had mentioned that you was in the loop, bro, of of the shit that Rev and I was doing in California.
Yeah.
Yo, you know, man, like that's really reassuring to me, bro, because when Rev was in California with me, we was just trying to get it, bro.
Yeah, dog.
We was just trying to get it. You
that
know,
motivates us. Imagine you see them like, damn, Rev used to fucking like. I like that he's making movies in Cali. Like that's. Imagine you don't even know, but you're inspiring other niggas like because of your shit. You're just wanting to get inspired from getting like it's feeding off.
Yeah, this is very reassuring, bro. I'm not gonna lie, man. Like I knew that I was gonna come here to do a podcast because Mowgli was like, yo, do you know my man Big G wants to do one with you? I was like, all right, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But then you bring that up and it's so nonchalant of a statement. Oh yeah, you know I was watching shit that with Rev out in Cali, but if you only knew the shit we was going through out there, and even when I talk with
that's
Rev
that mic
about
feedback shit when you get off stage and that one nigga's like, yo, dope show. That's that feeling. You probably just like, yo, that made me feel so good right now.
Like, dog, like the shit that Rev and I went through out there, and I feel guilty because he went out there to rock with me,
right?
And I went out there to rock with someone that believed in me, and things didn't pan out, so we had to fucking do what we had to do.
Right.
So I would ride around in my Scion XB with all my recording equipment, all my video equipment, my clothing, my dog, my girl would fly back and forth from, at the time, my girl would fly back and forth from Miami to California. And I was just trying to get it, bro. And I would get lost in the sauce of just trying to make money.
Of course.
To continue to be like a provider to an extent. And I would fall short a lot.
Right.
But then Rev would be like, mind you, I had all my equipment there. But that equipment, you know how you have something, so it just sits there because you know you have it?
Right.
Rev would wake me up July 4th, 2015 or whatever year it was. I think it was 2015. He was like, yo,
let's go do a video.
Hey, I just wrote a verse. Because he would always wake up earlier than me.
Right.
He'll be like, yo, I just wrote a verse to Rico. Let's do something to it today. It's July 4th. And I got out of bed, rolled up a joint, and I was like, all right, for sure. I set up my recording equipment, whatever. And I wrote my verse. His verse was already written. We recorded the whole track. I mixed it real quick. I mastered it real quick. It was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon by the time it was done. And we drove around and did the whole video. We shot it. I had a tripod with a, you know how when the camera moves left and right, that's a pan.
Right.
Okay, I had a motorized pan that would make it go automatically from left to right, back and forth, fast or slow. I set it on slow, and that was the shot. That's why you see in the whole video it's just a bunch of side by sides.
That shit was raw.
So then like we're performing on it. I'll kind of get him in focus, then I'll stand next to him knowing that I was kind of in focus, and that's how we did the whole video.
It was raw as fuck.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Sure,
like, look, like we did the whole video that way, and then it was like 5 or 6 o'clock by the time it was done. So I edited the video real quick, you know, because we wanted to put it out on July 4th, you know, and there's no internet up there at all. There's no, when you're in a small town in the mountains, forget about it. I had to drive, if I remember correctly, I either had to drive north an hour to Eureka
just to upload shit
to get Wi-Fi, or south, and I think
That's
we drove
crazy.
North because there's a Walmart out there and we had to do some shopping too. So all that was done in one day, and we put it out, and like that shit gets maybe like 20 views, whatever, and little by little.
I was one of them views.
Thanks, man. For real. Like, but look, man, those little views that you get and all the effort that you put into it, it starts to kind of chip away at your morale if you let it. You know,
I was a victim of one that let it completely, and I slumped out for like a year or two until I started kicking with him. And you need that spark. Sometimes somebody else that reassures you that, yeah, you are a dope motherfucker. Like, get back on your horse. Like,
bro,
oh, shit.
That's what makes it so worth it, man. And like, and this goes out to anybody out there, bro. Like, you never know who those views are coming from.
Right.
You never know. And even if it doesn't blossom into something bigger, like, yo, you know what, man?
Get up.
10 years from now, that'll just be one of your many videos.
Yep.
If you continue.
You get back up, man. Just always, like, you know, saying the cliche shit. You know, you get knocked down, whatever. Fucking, hey, you get up. Fucking.
And there's a reason why that shit holds water, bro. You get knocked down. If you know what, if you get knocked, when you get knocked down, if you stay down, that'll be your story.
Right.
But if you get up, that'll be your story. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. I think that's a good note to close off on.
Man. I really appreciate you having me on here, man. It was fucking dope. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go check me out, GMP Arrow at Instagram. I got shirts, products, vinyls, anything you need, man. I design shit. I appreciate the love, man.
That's G and P.
It's actually, it is, but I put it G, the letter N, like Nancy, and P, like GNP.
All right, for sure. GMP Arrow for y'all prints. You know what I'm saying? For your fashion and all that.
Or if you need big designs, I design whatever. I do anything, man. You want me to hop on the track? You want me to edit some videos? I'll do it. Like, you know, I'm like Art, man. We trying to get it.
Yeah, man. We're just trying to get it, man. All right. So on that note, man, remember, everybody, just stay cool. You know, shout out to Mowgli in the cut.
Wolfpack. Yo, 305, stay live, man. We gotta stay linked, man. Unity.
Absolutely, man. And remember, guys, life is just one day at a time, one moment at a time, guys. On that note, we out of here, y'all.
Dale.
Peace.
Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
Medianoche. Medianoche.
Medianoche.
Medianoche.
Medianoche.
Medianoche.
Medianoche.
Medianoche.
Podcast.